Hello students, how are you? Hopefully all of you will be very fine and safe. Dear students, we are studying metals and non-metals, and we discussed already general physical properties, importance, significance of metals and non-metals. Now we are going to discuss chemical properties of metals. Metals are what you know about metals. Metals are generally those substances which have low ionization energy. These are more electropositive in nature. These have tendency to lose electrons easily. These have tendency to combine with non-metals like oxygen, halogen, sulfur, etc. These have tendency to react with the compounds like water, acids, base, air, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, etc. There are some certain metals, noble metals, like gold and platinum, which do not react easily under ordinary conditions. These are very good reducing agent also. These are very good reducing agents. Chemically, metals show all these properties. But dear students, what do you mean by these terms? What do you mean by low ionization energy? मैंने कहा आपको metals have low ionization energy. Metals have low ionization energy. Ionization energy is what? नाम से पता लग रहा है ionization. This is the amount of energy. What is ionization energy? The amount of energy which is required to eject an electron from the isolated gaseous state of an element or atom. बेटा किसी गैसियस आइसोलेटेड गैसियस एटम से जब हम कोई एक इलेक्ट्रॉन इजेक्ट करते हैं तो जो आपने एनर्जी उसको देनी है, फॉर एग्जांपल we have sodium gas. When we provide some amount of energy, it loses its one electron. An electron eject, एक इलेक्ट्रॉन इजेक्ट होना चाहिए from the gaseous atom per mole, from 1 mole. Then the amount of energy required to eject electron from sodium is called its ionization energy. Similarly, you have any element generally, but it should be in gaseous atom and should be isolated gaseous. That means it should not bond with any other one. Then the amount of energy needed to convert it into cation, इसको cation में convert करने के लिए जो amount of energy चाहिए, that is called its ionization energy. So ionization energy of metals are generally very low. For example, you know, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, ठीक है, calcium, magnesium, barium, strontium. All these metals have greater size. All these metals have greater tendency to lose electrons. All these have low value of ionization energy. Do you know? Cesium has the lowest value of ionization energy in the whole periodic table. If we consider francium as the radioactive substance. So the most reactive metal ever in the periodic table is the cesium, towards with non-metals, towards tendency to lose of electrons. Cesium has the lowest ionization energy among all elements in the whole periodic table. This is the ionization energy. And remember, the atom which have low value of ionization energy, it is more reactive with respect to non-metals. Okay, so metals have low ionization energy, that is a more electropositive. Electropositive means all these have tendency to form cations. All these have tendency to form cations after losing an electron. Electropositive, after losing electrons, get positive charge. Okay, why do all these have very low ionization energy? You can say this explanation is based on their electronic configuration. बेटा आप जानते हो सोडियम का इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिगरेशन है 281. ठीक है, when you provide some amount of energy after losing one electron from here, its electronic configuration becomes more stable and configuration becomes 28. After losing one electron, it turns to the 28. 28 means what? Now this electronic configuration becomes as a inert gas electronic configuration. So sodium has greater tendency to lose an electron and then convert itself to the stable inert gas electronic configuration. So that is why metals are highly reactive. And you know, if we talk about these metals, these are alkali metals, these are alkaline earth metals. Alkali metals are very reactive. When alkali metals like sodium, potassium, all these type of metals, when react with water, air, when these exposed in water and air, all these undergo explosion, undergo violence reaction, very vigorous reaction. That is why alkali metals like lithium, sodium are stored in the kerosene oil because of their high reactivity with reference to the air and moisture. So all these have tendency to combine with non-metals. How? We can write reactions, but they have tendency to lose electrons easily because of to get more stable electronic configuration or inert gas electronic configuration. But remember, if we talk about suppose we have sodium solid and it has to be convert sodium ion like this. The amount of energy or heat required is called what? Suppose मैंने आपको कोई ऐसा ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन डाल दिया. You have sodium solid in its natural state. It is converted to this one. Is this amount of energy is? क्या ये एनर्जी आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी है? क्या ये एनर्जी हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन है? हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन मतलब मेल्ट करना. क्या ये एनर्जी हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन, ठीक है, और डायरेक्टली यू कैन से क्या ये एनर्जी हीट ऑफ सब्लिमेशन है? फ्यूजन का मतलब होता है सॉलिड को लिक्विड में कन्वर्ट करना. सब्लिमेशन का मतलब होता है सॉलिड को डायरेक्ट गैस में कन्वर्ट करना. क्या ये हीट आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी है? क्या ये फ्यूजन है? क्या ये सब्लिमेशन है? या फिर ये सम है? इट्स अ सम ऑफ sublimation plus ionization energy. Which is one is the correct answer among all these? It's a very good question for NCR and NTSC level. KVPY, NTSC and Olympiads level में ऐसा क्वेश्चन मिल सकता है. It is converted to this. Most of students just see this electron. ज़्यादातर बच्चों ने ये इलेक्ट्रॉन देखना है और इसका चार्ज देखना है और उनको लगेगा ये आयोनाइज हो गया and it should be ionization energy, but remember it is not ionization energy. What is the definition of ionization energy? Ionization energy defined as the minimum amount of energy required to eject an electron from the isolated gaseous atom. Okay, so this one include two steps. Sodium solid, first you have to convert into the sodium gas, and then sodium gas have to be converted to the gaseous ion. The amount of energy or heat required for this process is called heat of sublimation, and this is called ionization energy. So this conversion includes two steps, so the answer is this one. This heat is the sum of these two, not ionization energy. Understand? Okay, now these are electropositive, tendency to lose electron, reacts with these metals, ऑल्सो रिएक्ट्स विद द वाटर, एसिड्स, बेस। इनकी रिएक्शन से सिंपली आपने लिखनी है, ठीक है। नोबल मेटल्स, गोल्ड एंड प्लेटिनम, दीज आर कॉल्ड नोबल मेटल्स। नोबल मेटल्स जनरली रिएक्ट नहीं करते, गोल्ड एंड प्लेटिनम इजीली रिएक्ट नहीं करते व्हेन दे एक्सपोज्ड इन एयर, एक्सपोज्ड इन मॉइस्चर, एक्सपोज्ड इन एसिड्स, ड्यू टू inertness. Their electrons are very tightly held and closely packed. They can't lose their electrons. But all these can be reacted with aquaresia. It is also known as royal water. Aquaresia, basically it's a mixture of concentrated HCl and concentrated HNO3 in 3:1 ratio. This mixture can dissolve gold or platinum. This is the very strong mixture. Basically, when these two combine together in 3:1 ratio, gives nascent chlorine. Nascent chlorine is very active chlorine and can combine with the gold or platinum to form their corresponding chlorides. Okay, so metals can combine with all. अब हम इसकी reactions लिख सकते हैं. These are good reducing agent. Reducing agent means all these have tendency to lose electrons. That means all these can act as very good source of electrons. ये electrons को दे सकते हैं, इसलिए reducing agent कहलाएंगे. Reducing agents are those which can supply electrons, which are the source of electrons for the chemical reaction. Now what are the reactions occurring? अगर हमने इनकी reactions लिखनी है, all these are very easy. Suppose you have sodium, potassium, aluminium, iron, ठीक है, or some other elements. When react with the oxygen, then oxides are formed. जैसे sodium, potassium है, they form oxides with the explosion, with the valence reaction. Because of these are very reactive. The reactivity of metals basically can be decided with the help of activity series. What is the activity series? This is the reactivity series for some metals and here. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, copper, mercury, gold, silver, gold and platinum. This is the activity series for some metals. Those elements which present at the top of the series, जो सीरीज के टॉप में, these are very reactive with reference to the water, moisture, oxygen, air and some other non-metals. Little bit activity decreases. जो bottom पे elements है, gold, platinum, silver, mercury, these are very low reactive. ये जल्दी react नहीं करते. So इसके according reaction fast होगी, slow होगी. Aluminium also combined with oxygen to give aluminium oxide. Iron combined with the oxygen to give iron oxide, Fe2O3. Magnetic oxide of iron. Formation of rust also takes place according to this one. So all these combined with the oxygen, ठीक है. Magnesium also combined with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. Calcium combined with oxygen to form calcium oxide. So generally metals can form their corresponding oxides. Some metals are very reactive like sodium, cesium, potassium. All these can also form superoxides due to their greater reactivity. Sodium also can form peroxide. Sodium form peroxide and remaining cesium, francium, rubidium, potassium, these can form superoxides. Reactivity. Oxygen proportions. Do you know? This is the lithium oxide, this is the sodium peroxide and this is the potassium superoxide. See the ratio of oxygen. When oxygen is present with lithium 2:1 ratio, it is oxide. When oxygen ratio increases, it becomes peroxide. When oxygen ratio increases again, it becomes superoxide. Superoxide can form by only 3 elements on the periodic table: potassium, rubidium and cesium. Okay, so this is the reactivity towards oxygen. Similarly, all these can react with the halogens. With the halogens, that is, all these can combine with chlorine. Halogens are what? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. These are generally known as halogens. Among these halogens, fluorine is known as superhalogen. Fluorine is very reactive. Okay, and its reactions are generally explosive and violent. इसलिए कभी इसकी direct reaction नहीं कराते. So I take Cl2. It gives NaCl, KCl, AlCl3, FeCl2 and FeCl3 both can be formed. It is the MgCl2 according to valency and CaCl2 and so on. These are the chlorides formed when react with the chlorine. Okay? Similarly, when react with the sulfur, they form sulfides. And when all these react with the compounds like water, acids, bases, air, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, then there are some salts, hydroxides also can be formed. So these are some reactions, but the general characteristics of metals are these. All the reactions based on this concept. Okay. So try to read all the reactions related with the metals, which reacts with the oxygen, halogen, sulfur, वाटर, एसिड्स, बेस. इनको आप पढ़िए और लिखने की कोशिश करिए. ठीक है. आज नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम हुई है, इस वजह से लेक्चर नहीं रख पाया. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम सेंडिंग दिस वीडियो एंड वॉच दिस वीडियो एज वेल एज attempt to solve the assignment which already I have sent. Okay, dear students, thank you. Thanks a lot.